Hello, ready, and welcome to Amateur Cast, where I get you and your replays to be casted for my entertainment and hopefully to help you improve a little bit as well. I am your host, ZookaMan. We're going to be going into a TVP. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our players. In the top 12 o'clock position, we have Guns N' Roaches is Fish. He is from the clan Guns N' Roaches, but I am not sure exactly how to pronounce that. But in any case, he's going to be our Terran player. He's going to be in the red, and his opponent on the opposite side of the map. In the Protoss, in the blue, we have a Merchant King. Now let's start with the TVP matchup. What do we know? What's going on? How is the meta? And just all that stuff that you would like to know. Well, TVP is a very versatile matchup between a Protoss and a Terran player, of course, and the Protoss player is going to be going for more gateway-centric units into probably robotics facility for Colossus. You can also see things like DT expands, which I've been recently seeing a little bit from other games that I've cast and other games that I've played. It's actually one of my stream's mods preferred builds, and I believe he's in Diamond right now, and that's a fairly decent build there as well. You could also go Templar opening, though they're not quite as safe. And there's a lot of options for the Protoss player. But you're usually going to be starting out with the standard gateway units. In general, from the Terran's perspective, usually we're going to be seeing a bio dying to go for a double Rax here actually from Fish. So he might be wanting to be a tad bit aggressive here, which is a good thing. As most of you would know, the TVP matchup is a very aggressive matchup for the Terran player, and I know that once the Terran player is extremely aggressive, I find it very difficult to be able to do anything as a Protoss player when I'm playing this matchup. And as a Protoss player, as a Terran player, I find that it's very difficult to deal with Protoss aggression, and maybe that's just me being terrible with aggression. But in any case, we're going to be dropping down our Cybernetic score back home here from our Protoss player. He is going to be going for a second gas, is going to go for 3 on each, which I believe he should be able to support. Yes, indeed. This is probably going to be a Stargate or maybe a Twilight Council opening. One of the two would be my best guess, with the 3 in each gas. So, I would say actually Stargate would make more sense right now, as Oracle openings are a lot more popular than things like Blink openings in this league. Speaking of which, this is a gold level replay, so I don't expect the most high-tech and up-to-date builds and timings, but they still should know to a certain extent what they're doing. Are going to be going for double gas here in the main base right now, which is up quite a bit late, which is a bit of a curious decision. He's going to go for the double racks and then follow them up with 2 refineries with 1 in each. Right now I'm hoping that transfer SCs are going to go into there, so hopefully gas will be able to catch up in a little bit here. Natural is on its way for Merchant King. He's going to have a Mothership core as well, looking to be pretty decently well defended against small numbers of units, at least for the moment. Marines are going to be continuing to stream out of this barracks right now, and they're going to be rallied over here to the mineral line. My best guess is this because of an Oracle opening. Maybe he's suspicious of his opponent doing something to his mineral line, which I suppose is an interesting thing there. We have a probe chilling out over here. That's probably just going to get a little bit of scouting information, know if his opponent is planning on moving out anytime soon. And here comes the tech building of choice here from Merchant King. It is going to be the Twilight Council. Now, the Twilight Council is probably going to be a showing of, my best guess would be Dark Templar. Wall High Templar are also an option here, or you could also see Blink. I believe DTs are probably the most fitting in this situation for Merchant King, but I could be wrong. This could be Blink. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. Twilight Council is coming up now, so we'll probably see if he's planning on going anything with this. He is selected, and it's going to be Blink. So we are going to be going for Blink Stalkers. Are a little bit low on the gate count. This gateway also is a gateway as opposed to a warp gate, so it needs to be able to get up onto that. We're going to be going for a factory back home from Terran Player and situating for that second CC. Now actually, I believe you can blink up onto the ridge for this map. I know that you can't blink this distance, but I believe with sight you can definitely blink up the cliff here. So he might have a surprising amount of ways to go about there. We're going to have a couple of Marines attacking down here to the south. A couple of Stalkers will be enough to clean that up. He is going to go up, and he's going to scout pretty much everything that Merchant King is doing right now. Now, especially, he could suspect a numerous amount of things. He could expect that this is going to be a blink, and he's going to actually follow up with a scan. So right now, he's probably going to feel pretty confident that his opponent is going for a blink play here. And in response, I would expect Marauders to be produced. I would love to see, yeah, probably just Marauders would be the best idea here with concussive shells, which is exactly what we're going to be seeing Fish do at this point. He's going to be going for double Marauder, as well as that standby combat shields, or concussive shells, so he can help defend against those Stalkers and definitely chip away at their army, little by little. A couple extra gateways are coming up here from Merchant King, so he's going to be wanting to produce quite a few Stalkers here in just a little bit. Is also going to go for a photon cannon back home to help defend his mineral line, which is a really good idea so that he can defend himself against any sort of drop, which at this point could be coming up really at any moment, considering the fact that we do have the starport up. I believe, nope, no reactor yet, so he can't double produce medevacs, but he's still going to be able to put out medevacs right at this point. So drop play is going to be able to be prevalent. Here comes the Stalkers moving into position, and actually ton of gateways coming up back home. This is going to be fairly interesting, I think. It may be a tough hold here from Fish, but I believe he should be able to hold it. He does have a couple of Widow Mines on their way as well to help defend against this, and that, along with the Marauders, I think is going to be enough to be able to deal with this, because right now if the Blink Stalkers want to blink up onto this ramp, they're pretty much going to end up engaging the Widow Mine in some form or another, unless they come all the way up to the ramp and then blink up here, in which, or maybe blink up over there, but there's another Widow Mine. So fairly good Widow Mine placements. Merchant King is going to be moving up with his Mothership Core to help gain a vision, and the Stalkers are going to be ready. One Widow Mine is going to be going off onto that army though, and here come the Stalkers moving in to the main base. We're going to be seeing the Marauders going to be able to hold their own fairly well against them, and with the constant concussive shields, it's going to be a lot more difficult for Merchant King to be able to run away. In the meantime, that drop play that has been sent out across the map for Fish is prepared to move into the main base in just a little while. And actually, I feel like that was a really good hold from Fish, and he could be feeling pretty confident right now, as I would probably feel fairly confident in his shoes as well. Here comes the drop play coming up into this natural expansion. Photon cannon is going to be taken out. Probes are going to be dying, and this natural expansion is in a tad bit of danger. That +1 though is going to be finishing up here for Merchant King, so these Stalkers will be able to be more effective against the army of his opponent, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be enough. And if he lets this natural expansion fall, then that will be a very bad thing for him. He'll have a really big stunted economy. It looks like the medevac is going to go down, but a lot of damage was taken onto that Nexus, and quite a few probes were killed as well. So I think that that was definitely worth it for 8 Marines and a medevac. Meanwhile, we're going to be continuing up with the Stalker production out here from Merchant King, who is now going to be researching his +2 upgrades. He's going to drop down a couple of extra Zealots, I guess. Not sure exactly what the whole plan was that. Maybe it was a misclick of some sorts. We're going to have the Widow Mine's going to be able to get a good shot off onto these units before they're able to get too far, and the Marauders will be able to finish off the rest. Those Stalkers are completely toast. And right now, Merchant King needs to go back home, and he needs to transition and try something else, or else he'll end up just getting further and further behind in this game. Fish taking a very, very nice advantage with pushing back those units several times from Merchant King, who still hasn't taken gas at his natural expansion yet. And he's going to be trying to push back into the main base and natural expansion of Fish, which I don't see doing too much for him, to be perfectly honest. He's committing a lot to this, and one would think that, that would make it have a higher chance of succeeding, but right now Fish is just really well prepared for any sort of move out. Of course, I say that as soon as a couple of medevacs full of units start moving out across the field, and there really isn't a lot back home to defend. And ooh, that is a lot of units outside of his main base. Merchant King is going to get slightly supply block there, but he's going to drop down a couple of extra pylons there. Drop play is going to be coming up into the main base. There is going to be a photon overcharge to push this away, but in response, Fish is just going to say, alright, I'll go take out that natural expansion that I weakened up earlier. Merchant King is going to try to push up into the base. Here, he's going to be blinking straight on forward, and actually, lots of units here. Fish is in a bit of a bind. Merchant King's just going to be able to push in through these units, and because the Marauders were not back home, Merchant King's going to have a bit of an advantage going into this fight and clearing things away. Looks like we might possibly see a base trade. AGCG, what it looks like we're going to see. Both players are going to be attacking their opponents' respective main bases, and it looks like Merchant King has a lot more behind this. But Fish also has the heavy fire of the Marauders, being able to take out this Nexus fairly easily. This may end up being a bit of a closer one. Orbital Command is going to be flying up from that natural expansion, and I believe down to the natural expansion Merchant King, which might get a little bit hairy in the near future here. Neither player is going to be producing, both are going to be trying to eliminate their opponent's bases. A lot of infrastructure is going down in the main base of Fish. He is going to get super supply locked here. Again, once all these buildings are going to be cleared away, then Merchant King's going to be very supply blocked in his own right. Fish is going to be picking up and flying off. Meanwhile, Merchant King is going to be able to pretty much take out the entirety of the main base of Fish, even going to be killing a barracks as it tries to run away. A couple wind mines are going to be able to stay in the base, however, and might get some good splash off, but the SCVs are in the way as well. A little bit of an interesting blink there. I honestly would say probably unnecessary. But Fish is going to be still immensely supply blocked. Excuse me. Stalkers are going to blink up onto the wind mines and get a shot fire into their face. And then we begin to reset the game, I suppose, at this point. Although Merchant King does not really have the resources to build another Nexus, which may turn out to be a little bit unfortunate for him as Fish begins to mine. He's going to pick up his units, and that medevac is very close to being dead. But there are no Marines in this army to be able to take care of the Mothership Core, but I think they're actually just going to sustain on through it, which might just show you how little damage the Mothership Core does. This Marauder is lasting a super long time. Fish doing a very good job of making sure his units stay as alive as possible. He needs to get that one in the medevac, though. Oh, don't let it die. Oh. Close one. Looks like Merchant King is getting very close to scouting out this base. And I think, yes, he's going to go straight for it. But Fish already ahead of him. He's going to pick up and run off. Oh my goodness, this Marauder has 15, 16 kills. That is a very war-heavy Marauder. 11, 7, 10, lots of kills on all of them. Now, Merchant King is going to be losing quite a few buildings right now, and the only one he'll have left once Fish takes care of his main base will be that pylon in the main base, or the former main base of Fish. So he'll have to go out that way in order to be able to take it out. And it seems like Merchant King is going to be content with sitting on around that and waiting for Fish to attack. Fish is going to be flying off the orbital command into a corner, so to speak. And he's going to kind of rely on these Woodamites to try to get a little bit of damage done. They do have quite a few kills each. But Zealot's going to be running up to join the Stalkers up top, while Merchant King attempts to take out this refinery and does so. Meanwhile, the Woodamine, though, has been placed by that pylon, and actually, if he continues to move them up whenever the army gets away, he might have a chance to just be able to wipe out the entire army with a couple of shots near that pylon. Meanwhile, the medevacs are going to be setting on down at that main base again, where, of course, the dreaded mothership lurks. They're going to be stimming in to take out that gateway, but the medevacs are going to be going elsewhere, which is an interesting decision. Mothership is going to be picking away at the Marauders, but the Marauders, they just don't care. They're going and taking out the remainder of the buildings. Once they do that, they'll of course have to worry about taking out the pylon. Oh, time warp, because I'm going down to try to take out those Marauders, but they're going to just get picked up and flown back over once again. I'm not sure that there's much that Fish can do right now. He said I think would... Well, no, he can't land and build an SCV, because if he lands and builds an SCV, he'll end up with too little supply. This is a conundrum. Merchant King can't build a Nexus, and he can't build anything more than maybe a gateway. Well, that gateway would probably be not worth it, considering that it's not like he could build anything after it either. Well, he could probably build... Nope, he doesn't have the gas for sentry. So now we just kind of wait. Wait to see what's going to happen next. There are quite a few Stalkers going to be positioned across the map. A couple of Zealots at each of the bases just to make sure Fish doesn't try to land and mine again. Although he can't really do that anyways. Fish going to be getting a bit suspicious now. Cool liftoff, bro, Merchant King says. Fish is going to be giving a smiley face. I have now resorted to reading the chat. Another pylon is going to be actually over here, and he'll be able to pick that off with relative ease. And then he'll pick up and drop off again at some other location. Oh man, that medevac is actually extremely low. Fish can be going for the long bout. Actually, I've never noticed how much backspace is on this map between the bases. That must make mutas very, very good. Fish is going to be wanting to move in by the back, and right now the Stalkers are going to get in position, and this the Marauders. So this might be the first real stalemate I've ever seen in this game before. It's not like I haven't seen stalemates, but I'm not sure if there's much either one of these players can really do at this point to try and end this. Merchant King needs fish to build. Merchant King needs fish to be able to build. Or make a mistake. I don't know what I'm saying here. Reading the chat is my greatest weakness. Fish needs Merchant King to make a mistake, and Merchant King needs fish to make a mistake. So I guess at this point it's just waiting to whoever makes the mistake first. Although I will admit that it probably would be easier for fish right now to make a mistake than it would be for Merchant King. Oh, watch the medevacs. Oh, the stalkers are under attack. These marauders might... Oh! That marauder totally would have died if the stalker had decided to not run away. But fish looking fairly confident here. If he can just try and pick off his opponent's units one at a time, he can weaken the army. Excuse me. He can weaken the army, and if he weakens the army, he'll definitely be able to do a killing blow. Ooh. Ah, that's Stella. He's just going to try to run away, but he is just going to get completely obliterated and will return straight on back to Ire. Merchant King going to be poking on up to that gold base. Fish going to be sacrificing the medevacs that don't have the ability to fly. And oh no, don't let those die! Don't let those die! Oh. Fish, you're giving me a heart attack. Or these marauders are going to be getting super low, but the stalkers will be what falls first. That single medevac going to be responsible for keeping the 3 marauders left from fish alive. This is actually a very tense moment in this game, and these marauders are going to get all healed up. And those will be chilling out, having a little bit of a coffee break, and they'll be back in action in a little bit. Excuse me. Fish. Oh, Fish, this is your moment to shine. Merchant King's units are outside of his base. If you get that up there before he can get there, you might be able to snipe down that pylon. Oh, goodness. This is so tense. What am I? He's going to get another kill. Oh, but here comes Fish. He's going to be coming in with the kill on the pylon. Going to get that pylon. And we only have 3 more left in the middle of the map. Merchant King going to be losing quite a bit of ground here. Fish, definitely still the underdog, but I believe that he could probably win this if he can be able to micro that properly. And if he can try to lead these stalkers into the widow mines in any of these locations, he will find a very, very nasty surprise for a Protoss player. But his army's away. Fish has a good chance here to be able to kill all of these pylons, and that would be magnificent for him. Merchant King getting caught a little bit with his pants down here. Needs to fall back. Oh, he might get the pylon. He's going to get the pylon. He is going to get the pylon. And Fish will be victorious. Oh, man. Alright, guys. Now is the time, as always, that we take a look at what each of these players could have done better, so that they and you can learn a little bit for next time. So, as always, we're going to start with our losing player, the Protoss player. And the big thing I have to say for Merchant King in this game was tech. He went for Blink Stalkers, which, in general, I think Blink Stalkers are a very decent composition to go for in the early game. However, I think that he pressed his advantage a little bit too much with his pushes, which wasn't necessarily the best decision for him. Yes, it did end up with him being able to catch Fish off and in that case he was doing fairly well. But I would have liked to see him go up onto something else after the original Blink Stalker push went down. Fish, first thing and foremost, before we do any sort of advice, love the micro with those Marauders and the Medivacs. That was absolutely brilliant and awesome to see. But what Fish probably could have done better, I think it's difficult in these kind of games to really advise players. But I think Fish probably could have had more success in a more streamlined opener. He went for the double barracks fairly early, but then proceeded to not really do anything with them. And yes, you could argue the fact that the Protoss player was going for a very aggressive opening, but Fish didn't really know that starting off. So I think if you're going to go for the double barracks, incorporate a little bit of aggression, even just a small push out with a couple of Marines, get some scouting information, a little bit more to know what your opponent's doing. I think that's a lot more suited to the opening than going for the number of Marines that Fish had and delaying the natural expansion. But this was a fun game. This wasn't really meant to be anything too serious. And actually the Cast It post said it that it was a quote-unquote Bronze League hero game alike to it, and I can definitely see a little bit to that. But in any case, I do think that will be it for this one, guys. Before I go, a few real quick announcements. If you like this cast, as always, please comment, like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to get your game casted by me, you can send a replay over to ZookaMan900 at gmail.com, or if you'd like to just get a replay casted, and don't mind if it's me, check out the subreddit Cast It. I would highly, highly advise, as I've advised in the past couple of videos that I have made, to go check that out anyways. It's an awesome place for casters and castees, I guess, alike. It's a great place to hang out and get replays cast and such. I do know that we are a little bit low on casting power lately, so hopefully that'll be resolved as I try to get this through these guys as much as I can. Game 2 of this will be uploaded probably fairly shortly around when this was uploaded, so they will come together. There's this game and another game. I haven't even opened it yet, so I don't know 100% what it's about. I like to do my cast blind anyways. But in any case, I am sort of rambling at this point. And I believe that's going to be it for this one, guys. So this is ZookaMan, and we'll see you on the next cast. Take care, guys.